Discover the miraculous reality that has been prophesied for you. Unveil your divine path today. In a quaint village nestled beneath an ancient chapel, lived a woman named Agnes, her heart full of faith. Every evening, like clockwork, she and her family would gather around their small wooden table. The flickering candles cast a warm glow, illuminating their faces as they lifted their voices in harmonious prayer. "Saint Jude, hear our plea!" they would call out, an unwavering plea for the seemingly impossible. Hope was woven into their everyday lives, transforming the mundane into something miraculous. But light can dim, and so it happened when a shadow fell over Agnes' home. Michael, her beloved husband, was diagnosed with a terminal illness. The world, once vibrant and vivid, dulled to shades of gray. Desperation seemed to swirl in the air like an uninvited guest. Despite the community's unflagging prayers and exquisite tapestry of devotion, you could feel the mounting despair. Agnes wrestled with doubt, her faith tremoring. Then, one dusk, as candlelight flickered against the encroaching night, she found herself at a vigil, surrounded by familiar faces. Each prayer floated upward, mingling with the scent of earth and grass, rising toward a divine openness. Suddenly, sleep gripped her, and she slipped into a dream unlike any before. A vision unfolded a beautiful shrine, its stones warm with divine energy, nestled high in the whispering mountains. There lay a promise, a beacon of hope festooned in radiant light, beckoning her forth. "Do not fear," a voice echoed within her soul, as vivid as the dawn. Awakening to reality, surrender replaced her fear. Against the murmurs of doubt dancing through her village, she knew the path ahead was to be tread by her own 2 feet. With courage wrapped around her heart, Agnes set forth the next morning, her spirit ignited like a match struck against darkness. The weather stormed against her, rain falling in sheets, wind howling through the branches like spirits seeking solace. The terrain twisted and turned, rock and mud conspiring against her resolve. Each step forced her to confront the self-doubt that lurked at her heels. "Why are you chasing this?" a whisper in the wind questioned. Yet she pressed on, memories of her family's unfaltering faith stitching threads of determination into her heart. And then, just as hopelessness threatened to consume her, she paused. The silence was deafening. The clouds parted slightly, a radiant beam breaking through the gloom, bathing her in unwavering warmth. She felt the hands of her family holding her steady, heartbeats echoing with her own, resolute faith so fervent it vibrated through the air. At last, she reached the shrine, its beauty breathtaking. Surrounded by the melody of rustling leaves, peace enveloped her. And in that bewildering moment, a silhouette appeared, walking toward her with an ethereal grace. With joy crashing in a tide, it was Michael. He stood before her, revitalized, alive. A miracle defying all reason. The whispered doubts of the village transformed into chants of joy. As news spread, the village rejoiced, doubt dissolving like mist. Yet deep within, Agnes felt a new calling surge. Now a witness to something incredible, she pondered what other wonders awaited those willing to believe. It was clear divine paths were untangling before them, shimmering with sacred possibility. Surely, they had only begun to scrape the surface of the miraculous. What awaited next? The village was alive with chatter and laughter. In the days following Michael's miraculous return, joy rippled through the hearts of everyone. Faces once lined with sorrow now glowed, uplifted by the pulse of shared faith. Flowers bloomed richly, as if to celebrate the abundance of hope restored. But Agnes found herself standing at the edge of the congregation, feeling a soft tug at her heart. Amid the celebrations, a quiet voice whispered to her a call to action that reverberated deeply within. While her family and friends danced in jubilation, she was drawn to a deeper truth, one that beckoned her to share the miracles she had witnessed. "Do you not see?" she thought, "this cannot end with us." As warmth radiated from her heart, she envisioned gathering the villagers, not just to celebrate, but to ignite their own faith journeys. So she stepped forward, her voice trembling yet resolute, calling for everyone's attention. "I have seen the miraculous," Agnes proclaimed. "We are woven together by divine threads, and each one of you carries the seeds of miracles inside. Let us not hoard this blessing." Her words fell like seeds scattered upon fertile ground. The villagers applauded her bravery, their eyes widening with anticipation. One by one, they began to share their stories. Old wounds were opened as they spoke of losses, dreams forgotten, and prayers unanswered. With each tale of struggle, a shared understanding blossomed. Hearts united in vulnerability began to reshape their collective narrative. As Agnes listened, she felt a sense of urgency in her spirit. What if, she pondered, these stories could be transformed into a source of strength? She suggested that they create a gathering, a prayer circle that would meet weekly to uplift, share, and inspire. The idea ignited a spark among them. Excitement buzzed in the air like electricity. With the sun dipping low in the sky, they formed a circle right there, surrounded by the vibrant hues of the setting sun. Agnes bowed her head, and together they prayed, a melodic harmony that filled the space between them. "Saint Jude, hear our prayers!" they cried, and their voices soared, intertwining against the backdrop of a deepening twilight. Agnes marveled at the weight of their words, each one taking flight. She could feel the weight of unspoken burdens beginning to lift, the encouragement of faith weaving its way through their collective spirit. In this divine moment, something beautiful began to flourish, a resolute belief in miracles yet to come. Days turned into weeks, and with every gathering, the village began to transform. People who once stood in silence now opened their hearts. The cries of despair turned into shouts of joy. The small wooden chapel soon overflowed with villagers, eager to share testimonies of their own miraculous encounters. Yet, amidst this blossoming movement, Agnes felt a new riddle arise in her heart. What truly lay at the base of their transformed lives? Was it simply the miracles that had sparked it all, or something deeper lurking behind? The journey had woken her spirit, and she craved answers that seemed just beyond her grasp. As she closed her eyes in prayer one evening, a soft whisper echoed from the depths of her soul, lighting a path before her. "Agnes," it said, "there is more for you to discover." With curiosity and an open heart, she steeled herself for whatever revelation awaited. Where would this adventure lead? What depths of faith and insight lay buried beneath the layers of miraculous occurrences? She could hardly wait to find out. Agnes awoke the next day with the soft glow of dawn filtering through her window. It was as if the very light was urging her to rise, to seek the answers her heart craved. She felt a pull, a gentle nudge that stirred her spirit and ignited flames of anticipation within her. After breakfast, she wandered to the chapel, which stood as a beacon of hope in the village. Each step felt electric, a reminder of the conversations that had woven so many stories together. The air was thick with possibility. Something awaited her, waiting to be uncovered. As Agnes entered the chapel, the familiar scent of aged wood and lingering incense enveloped her senses. Strains of soft hymns echoed in the air, intertwining like threads in a tapestry of prayer. She closed her eyes, allowing the melody to wash over her, welcoming an overwhelming sense of peace. "Lord," she whispered, "show me what lies ahead. Illuminate my path." Once she finished her prayer, Agnes opened her eyes to see a group of villagers gathering just outside the chapel. They were staring in awe at a magnificent display, the sky above their heads awash with brilliant hues of red and gold, forming patterns that seemed almost divine. With a sense of urgency, Agnes rushed outside, her heart racing. The villagers stood in silence, their faces lit with wonder. "Look!" someone gasped. "It's as if the heavens are speaking to us." Agnes felt a warmth spread through her. Was this a sign? As she joined the villagers, a stirring energy filled the air, and she understood God's message was being unveiled in this very moment. The vibrant colors in the sky shifted into a more tranquil blue, and slowly, a rainbow arched above the chapel. Agnes remembered the profound promises that rainbows carried. They were symbols of hope, faith, and covenant. Was it possible this vibrant display was a reminder of God's unrelenting love and the miracles yet to come? "We must gather together and give thanks," Agnes proclaimed, the words bursting forth from her with fiery conviction. The villagers nodded, enthusiasm filling their eyes. With ease they formed once more in a circle, clasping hands beneath the heavenly colors that now painted the sky. They thanked God for the miracles that had come and for those that were yet to unfold. The prayers flowed freely, and with each word, the village felt more alive, more connected than ever before. Joy bubbled over, flowing into the hearts of everyone present, inspiring tears of gratitude. As their voices soared in harmony, Agnes felt another whisper in her spirit. Search, Agnes, it beckoned gently, for understanding awaits you in the stories yet untold. With clarity and conviction, she vowed to delve deeper into the stories of the villagers, those hidden gems of experience that held seeds of truth just waiting to bloom. Yet just as a satisfying sense of direction took root within her, a hint of mystery lingered, pulling at her heartstrings. Could there be a story among us that speaks of an even greater miracle? She pondered, her mind racing with possibilities. The village was not done revealing its secrets. What truth lay hidden in the experiences of others? With the promise of deeper revelations ahead, Agnes felt excited for the journey. She would listen to their hearts, discover the lessons embedded in their trials, and uncover the miraculous realities that intertwined with her own. And in that moment, the clouds parted overhead, revealing a brilliant sun, casting glimmers of light that seemed to dance across their faces. With each heartbeat, the compelling urge to uncover their collective truth only grew bolder. But who would step forward to share their story? What miracle was yet to rise from the ashes of silence? Only time would tell. The air was thick with anticipation as the villagers basked in the radiant embrace of the sun. Agnes felt an awakening not just in her spirit but around her, as if the earth itself hummed with the promise of divine revelations. But who among them would reveal a story? Let us have a feast to celebrate, someone suggested from the crowd, his voice ringing with enthusiasm. Let us share not only our stories but our blessings. The idea sparkled like the light above, and soon plans were set in motion. Agnes turned to her friend Eliza, a gentle soul with a deep well of stories. Eliza, she began, her excitement spilling over, what tales do you keep hidden? Eliza glanced down, the shyness in her eyes revealing a shy complexity. Oh, I have nothing special, dear Agnes. Just the troubles and heartaches of an ordinary life. Yet her tone contradicted her words. Agnes could sense the undercurrent of profound experience just beneath the surface. Every story matters, Agnes urged, her heart racing. Our paths meander through joy and sorrow. It's in those bends that we'll find the miraculous. The words seemed to resonate, igniting a spark in Eliza. With a deep breath, she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear and began to speak, her voice steadying. Years ago, I faced a time of great loss, my child, taken too soon. I felt as if all light had vanished. I wandered in that darkness, utterly alone. Agnes felt her heart clench, each word pulling at her own emotions. She understood that pain, that abyss, but she also felt hope rising like the sun. This was where the story of transformation began. But even in that depth, I found strength in the community, Eliza continued, building courage with each phrase. It was not easy, but the loving hands of this village brought me back. They held space for my pain, and one day, amidst the sorrow, I felt a whisper. What did it say? Agnes leaned in, captivated. Eliza glanced back at the villagers, a soft smile emerging. It was a simple truth: you are not alone. I am with you. Those words broke my heart open. I found healing not through fixing the past but in sharing my journey. The pain became a path, leading me to serve others in their struggles. The village listened, enraptured. Agnes could see faces transforming, shadows lifting as Eliza's story unfolded. Tears glimmered like jewels, each drop a testament to shared experience. The moment felt sacred, a weaving of lives into one redemptive narrative. I realized, Eliza added, in pain lies purpose. We all endure trials, but through them, we can become vessels of hope. Agnes's heart raced. She could sense that this was just the beginning. Others would feel the freedom to share now, inspired by Eliza's bravery. Let us honor this moment with gratitude, Agnes called, her voice ringing out like a bell, bringing focus. This gathering is not just about our past. It's about the miracles still waiting. What other stories lie hidden here? Who else feels the whisper of hope nudging at their heart? Excitement crackled in the air, and one by one, hands began to rise. Agnes met each gaze, witnessing not just pain but the transformative power of shared experience. In that stirring moment, the chapel under the vibrant sky became an altar of hope. Agnes felt her spirit soar, recognizing that they were on the cusp of revealing even more miraculous truths. But as the stories began to flow, an unsettling thought crept into her mind. What if some stories remained trapped, seeking to emerge yet lost in the shadows of fear? Struck by that question, she wondered, would everyone find the courage to share? Would the final threads of their collective tapestry weave together in ways beyond their wildest hopes? And so, with hearts beating in unison, they braced themselves for revelations yet unseen. The silence that enveloped the gathering deepened as the first villager stood up, a hesitant yet determined look on his face. Thomas, an elderly fisherman with sun-kissed skin and hands roughened by years of toil, cleared his throat. "I, too, have a story," he began, his voice trembling like the leaves overhead. Agnes felt the collective breath of the villagers hold in anticipation. They watched as Thomas battled his own uncertainty. "Many moons ago I lost my son to the sea," he paused, grief casting a shadow over his features. "He was my anchor. My joy. I thought that the waters had taken everything from me." The air shifted, a wave of understanding washing over the crowd. Pain echoed in their hearts, each listener recalling their own losses. Yet, deep within Thomas, a light glimmered. But in that loss, I too heard a whisper, echoing through the crashing waves, "Your son is not lost. He walks with me." Gasps spread through the crowd, hearts stirred by the revelation. Thomas continued, "That realization didn't dissolve my sorrow, but it reshaped it." I began to tell his story, sharing his laughter, his dreams. And with every tale, I felt him return to me, alive in memory, vibrant with purpose. The village, enraptured, nodded with understanding. A swell of emotion surging in Agnes reminded her of the sacred connection they all shared. Life and death danced together in the fabric of their existence, teaching them that through pain, hope could still bloom like wildflowers on a sunlit hill. As Thomas spoke, another soul rose, a young woman named Sophia, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I have known despair too," she softly confessed. "I was lost, trapped in a life that felt meaningless, but then, I found a community. You, my friends, have been my lifeline. Together, we transformed each other's darkness into light." A chorus of agreement rippled through the villagers. The tales were intertwining, like threads of a tapestry woven together by faith and resilience. Each voice that rose brought forth a piece of the collective strength they had nurtured, each heartbeat a testimony to survival. As the stories flowed, Agnes felt the sacredness swell like a tide. It was a divine symphony playing through their hearts, an offering of vulnerability, love, and hope. Suddenly, an unexpected hush fell. A figure shrouded in shadows stepped forward, and the villagers turned. It was old Mara, a woman known for her great wisdom but who rarely spoke. The flickering light caught the silver strands of her hair, illuminating the depth of her gaze. "I have listened," she began, her voice steadier than anticipated. "And what I hear is not just echoes of sorrow but a symphony of divine love." Agnes felt a surge of expectancy. Each word from old Mara often carried weight, and this felt like an unveiling of something more profound. "What binds you, dear friends, is far more powerful than shared pain. It is the promise of new beginnings and a directive to love fiercely, no matter the cost." Emboldened, the villagers leaned in. Secrets of hearts threatened to spill forth, tales yearning to be told. Would they dare to share? Agnes' heart pounded with possibility. Could this be the moment of divine connection, a call to a higher purpose embraced by every story shared? The energy in the air thickened, charged with anticipatory hope, as they all braced themselves. Would the unfolding of this collective narrative reveal the miraculous reality each had been unknowingly asking for? They stood on the edge of something magnificent, a vibrant tapestry waiting to be completed. Agnes whispered a prayer, trusting that each voice would find its place. "Let us step forward together. What awaits us in this turning moment?" And as they prepared to delve deeper, an unsettling question lingered. What if this journey transformed not just their pain, but their very understanding of the divine itself? The collective breath of the villagers tightened as old Mara paused, her gaze sweeping over each face, sensing their hunger for the truth. The air felt thick with an invitation and opportunity to embrace vulnerability and sink deeper into their shared experience. Together, we carry the weight of our stories, she continued, her voice a soothing balm, wrapping the gathering in warmth. Yet, through this exchange, we can find the threads of hope woven into the very fabric of our existence. Look around, you see the light in your neighbor's eyes, the warmth of their hearts. We are never alone. Agnes felt a stirring deep within her. Somehow, old Mara's words felt like a beckoning. Each villager's cautious heart was ready to share but held back by fear, by the uncertainty of their own worth. She could feel their collective needs, their silent cries for connection. Then, from the back of the crowd, a soft voice spoke up. Young Liam, a boy known for his laughter. I want to share, he said, his fingers intertwining nervously. I've only known joy, but it's like a flame that flickers but barely shines. The villagers fell into a hush, leaning closer. It feels like, he gulped, I'd been told to dim my light. But I don't want to hide. I want to show my joy. A ripple of soft smiles spread across familiar faces, some tears glistened. There was something powerful in this childless innocence, a reminder that joy, too, is a story worth sharing. It was infectious, breaking the barrier built of sadness and fear. I want to share too, another voice cried. This time, it was Martha, an elderly widow. I have seen the end of love and the promise of new blooms. I lost my partner, but I found a garden where flowers break through the pavement. So, I tended to it. Your garden, shouted another, is a testament of strength. You kept the light shining even after loss. Agnes felt tears prick her eyes. Their stories were not just individual tales, they were stitches binding their lives together. A medley of laughter and tears began to fill the open air, each person drawing from the well of their pain, transforming it into strength. The sacredness of their moment wrapped them in divine connection, a celebration of both loss and hope. Agnes stepped forward, inspired by the courage of those around her. What if, she said, her voice clear as a bell, we not only share our scars but also the beauty that rises from them? Let us weave a tapestry with threads of faith. Can we speak of the gardens that have grown in our hearts? The villagers nodded in agreement, each word igniting a fire to chase away shadows of silence. One by one, they began to rise, sharing layers of their lives, their darkest nights, and the dawns that followed. Through their stories, they realized they were shedding not just tears but old burdens, the weight of solitude slipping away like sand through their fingers. With each tale spun, a light radiated brighter, encircling them in a united chorus of hope. A remarkable grace began to descend, wrapping the gathering in warmth and comfort, a tangible presence of something heavenly. They were on the verge of revelation, of understanding what had been right under their noses all along. In that moment, Agnes sensed the stirring promise of divine connection. She raised her hands, opening herself to the sacred. What if this is only the beginning? She urged, emboldened by faith. The villagers paused, each heartbeat echoed with anticipation. Could this metamorphosis shift their understanding of God, transforming pain into unparalleled joy? As they stood, eyes bright with possibility, Agnes felt a tingling unease. What awaited them beyond bravery? Would divine understanding spring forth, a testament to their resilience and faith? Their hearts raced with eager expectation, ready for whatever miraculous reality lay just beyond the horizon. The air shimmered with a palpable energy as the villagers absorbed Agnes' challenge. They sensed a new awakening, a stirring of spirits unbound by past fears. It was as if the presence of something holy hovered above them, inviting every heart to open fully to the light within. Old Mara, embodying the wisdom of age, leaned forward as if to draw from the well of stories yet to be told. We stand on sacred ground, my friends. Our stories are the stepping stones of faith, leading us through valleys of despair straight into fields of hope. Together, we hold the keys to a new dawn. Let us not keep them locked away any longer. At her words, Agnes felt a surge of pushing warmth. What if this moment transformed each soul standing there? With a mind full of wonder, she scanned the faces, noting each flicker of uncertainty, and each spark of possibility. What were they capable of? Who else wants to share? Agnes called, her voice firm yet tender. Let your light shine. We're here to embrace it. The crowd hesitated, then a woman named Ruth stepped forward. Her hands trembled, but her voice gained strength. I've carried shame for too long, she confessed. For years I believed I wasn't worthy of love. It was haunting, like living in the shadows. She paused, drawing a breath filled with courage. But what I discovered was that the love I sought was already within me. It took years, but I began to nurture that love and heal. The villagers leaned in, captivated and inspired. Murmurs of agreement swirled around her like the breeze. Ruth's story was a delicate thread woven with strands of struggle and resurrection. A deep sense of unity enveloped them all, the worry of judgment fading like morning fog. From the edge of the gathering, a young couple, Samuel and Olivia, took their steps together. We have faced the storm, Samuel said softly, glancing at Olivia, but in that darkness, we found each other. Our love became our anchor. He gripped his wife's hand tightly, eyes sparkling. We learned that storms can thrust us into deeper understanding of faith. We emerged renewed, stronger for the fight. Their shared strength drew applause, echoing a spirited ripple through the assembly. One by one, more voices soared into the open air. Nathan spoke of his struggle with fear. Lydia recounted a tale of recovery from sickness. Daniel shared a moment where forgiveness transformed a bitter heart. Each tale carved deeper grooves into the tapestry they were weaving, a bond of collective healing. As Agnes listened, the air felt electric, charged with possibility and inspiration. Their shared experiences formed a sacred bond, shining light into unseen corners of each soul. She began to envision a vivid mural of their community blossoming, a beautiful reflection of God's love unfolding right before her. Can you feel this presence among us? Agnes asked, her heart racing with joy. This glorious energy? Heads nodded in quiet agreement, smiles spreading like sunlight. In that communion of souls, they grasped the truth: vulnerability strengthens. From their hearts emerged a melody of praise. As voices mingled, the cadence of joy resonated, blending their stories like sweet music. The village became a sanctuary, a place where struggles transformed into testimonies of resilience. Let us carry this divine grace into our lives, into our homes, old Mara proclaimed, her voice roaring like a campfire igniting hope on a cold night. If we believe, our stories will light the way. But what if there's more? What does God want to reveal? As the murmurs faded, an unmistakable stillness descended. Each villager perceived a distant whisper, a tantalizing call to deeper understanding. What awaited them beyond this night? What miracles were hidden, waiting to be unveiled? The divine path beckoned, as hearts pulsed in harmony, eager to unravel the greater purpose set before them. The night deepened, wrapping the villagers in a sacred embrace. Stars twinkled overhead, as though the heavens were leaning in to listen. Agnes stood before her community, her heart swelling with gratitude and anticipation. Each soul was a spark, waiting to ignite. Old Mara, sensing the atmosphere shift, raised her hands slowly as if asking for silence. In this holy moment, let us not rush. There is magic in stillness. Sometimes, God speaks loudest when we stop to listen. The villagers surrendered to the tranquil hush, their breaths a soft rhythm echoing the gentle rustle of leaves. It was a collective act of reverence. In their hearts, they yearned for clarity, each seeking the answers hidden beneath their burdens. Agnes closed her eyes. With each inhalation, she invited the sacred spirit dwelling in their midst to reveal itself. The warmth enveloped her, a loving embrace promising fulfillment. She felt the prayers of her companions mingling with hers, rising like wisps of incense toward the heavens. Could something divine be on the horizon for all of them? Then it happened. A flicker of light danced across Agnes' eyelids, illuminating her vision, casting shadows on the doubts that lingered. She opened her eyes and was met by the awed expressions of the villagers, their features illuminated by the faint glow of faith shining in their hearts. Do you see it? Agnes whispered, excitement spilling into her voice. Can you feel this light amongst us? This is our calling. A deep murmur of agreement flowed through the assembly. They stood on the cusp of something extraordinary, a shared destiny turning in the currents of faith. One of the elder men, Jacob, with a weathered face reflecting countless tales, stepped forward. Agnes, this light, it feels like a promise. His eyes glistened with tears. Can we grasp it? Are we truly worthy of such a gift? With a gentle nod, Agnes replied, God's love doesn't come with a checklist. It is given freely, to broken and whole hearts alike. Each of us has a part to play in this unfolding miracle. The atmosphere thickened, pregnant with hope. Each heartbeat resonated like distant thunder, echoing the strength found in unity. Let us not shy away from our truth, Lydia ventured, her voice lending courage to the gathering. What if our stories are not just for ourselves but for others? We are meant to shine so that others may find their way through the darkness. And with those words, a flame ignited within the crowd. One by one, they spoke of fears transformed into faith, hidden talents awakening, and burdens released into the arms of the loving Creator. Each revelation seemed like a spark, igniting those around them. The atmosphere crackled with possibility, and waves of energy coursed through the gathering. They began to sway, held together by faith, each heartbeat echoing a scripture that had once shaken the earth. Where two or more are gathered in His name, there He is. Agnes raised her hands, directing their shared energy toward the heavens. Let us be vessels for this unfolded promise. Let our lives reflect the truth, and let us not fear stepping into the light. Sparks of joy danced in their eyes as they imagined lives transformed, a village alive with purpose, hearts embracing the miraculous. Yet, amidst the triumph, a thought flickered in Agnes' mind. What awaited them beyond their stories? What was this divine path leading them toward? Each heart pulsed, wondering about the greater plan, the miraculous reality still shrouded in mystery, beckoning them onward into the unknown. As the night unfurled, a deep stillness wrapped around the villagers like a soft blanket. They stood united, hearts racing as the spiritual energy crackled like a live wire beneath their feet. Each person felt the stirring of the spirit, igniting their dreams and awakening a sense of exaltation that was palpable in the air. Agnes gazed upon each face, cherishing the warmth between them. Together, she urged, let us call forth this light that surrounds us. Not just for ourselves but to illuminate the way for others, a beacon in the darkness. Old Mara stepped forward, her wisdom radiating. This light has a purpose. It is not merely a feeling, it is a call to action. But we must be open to the lessons it brings. Her voice was steady, grounding the determined spirits of the villagers. All of us have stories that intertwine, Lydia added, her eyes glistening with inspiration. Imagine our individual trials, transformed into a tapestry of strength that can uplift others. How many have walked through shadows, only to find hope through shared experiences? As they spoke, a soft breeze rustled the trees, drawing an audible sigh from the gathering. It felt like a sigh of approval from the heavens, affirming their intentions. Excitement bubbled over as the villagers began to speak of their visions: a school for the youth, a care center for the elderly, a support network to bring comfort and love. Voices overlapped in joyous abandon. Jacob shared dreams of mentorship, while Marta, her cheeks wet with tears, envisioned a community banquet, where all might gather and feast, fostering connections. Their dreams swirled together, each story weaving a brighter image of their futures. Agnes felt an electric thrill course through her veins. We are not alone. Our fear dissipates in the face of our collective courage. Let us declare our intentions with fervor. They joined hands, strengthening their resolve. We are warriors of love, Agnes shouted, her voice ringing clear through the trees, creating a chorus of hope that echoed back to them. The warmth enveloped them as they collectively decided to step into their calling. Yet, as they spoke of the dreams they wished to manifest, an unsettling thought crept back into Agnes' heart. With every promise uttered, silence lingered in the corners of her mind, questioning what awaited beyond their united faith. Do we dare tread upon the unknown? She pondered, as she felt the spirit nudging her heart. What if the challenges ahead are far greater than we can imagine? Just then, a faint light flickered in the distance, like a candle flickering to life after a long night. It pulsed gently, calling them. It held promises untouched, waiting for hands to shape their destiny. The villagers gasped, searching one another's faces as whispers filled the air. Each heartbeat carried the same question, an excitement laced with trepidation. What is that light? Is it a sign? Agnes turned towards the flicker, her heart racing as misgivings danced along the edges of her faith. Was it merely illumination, or could it be a glimpse of the miraculous reality that lay ahead? With anticipation shimmering in her soul, she stepped forward, one foot in front of the other, a journey just beginning. What awaited them as they approached that divine light? What truths concealed within its glow were destined to unfold? Agnes stood at the precipice of the unknown, her heart pounding as she approached the flickering light that danced like a candle in the dark. Families gathered behind her, eyes wide with wonder and uncertainty, as if they were waiting for the next act in a grand play directed by the Almighty. Let us move forward together, Agnes called, feeling the weight of her words intertwining with the collective heartbeat of the villagers. They formed a chain of faith, hand in hand, fortified by shared stories that fueled their courage. As they drew nearer, the light began to transform, shimmering and pulsating like a heartbeat, beckoning them closer. The world around them faded, and it felt as though they had crossed the threshold into another realm. The air shimmered beautifully with an indescribable essence, whispering promises of healing and revelation. Agnes could hear the murmurs of encouragement, sacred words of hope rising from the hearts of her companions. This is it, she thought, overwhelmed with gratitude. We are standing on holy ground. When they reached the source, a radiant orb hovering effortlessly in the air, Agnes gasped. The villagers collectively halted, as love emanated from the luminous sphere, wrapping them in a warm embrace, wiping away their fears, like morning dew kissed by the sun. Then, the brilliance dimmed just a touch, revealing a path that stretched into the unknown, a winding road illuminated by the gentle glow of divine light. It was an invitation, a call to embark on a journey toward their true purpose. Together, we can walk this path, Agnes proclaimed, her spirit soaring. This is the divine reality we are meant to embrace. The villagers echoed her words, voices blending in a chorus of belief, transforming trepidation into trust. As they took their first steps onto the path, the light intensified and shifted from gold to white, enveloping them in a tranquility they never knew existed. Old Mara leaned close to Agnes, love twinkling in her wise eyes. Remember, dear ones, this journey will reveal new layers of faith and deeper understandings of God's love. A melody, soft and ethereal, flowed through the air, a heavenly choir imparting wisdom. Each note danced around them, swirling in harmony, resonating with the hopes and dreams of the village. Look! A child cried, pointing ahead. Emerging from the depths of light were familiar figures, those who had passed, now transformed into radiant beings, shimmering with joy. Faces they recognized, family, friends, all with smiles that spoke of peace, extending their hands toward the living, beckoning them forward. Agnes's heart surged, tears streaming down her cheeks without shame. This is heaven! She cried. A reminder of the love that binds us. The villagers gasped, a swell of recognition flooding into their hearts. They were not mere stories of loss but a testament to the unity forged in faith. With each step, stories began to loop and intertwine, forming vibrant threads of connection. Would they embrace the trials ahead? If love could bridge the gap between life and death, could it not also illuminate every shadow, every fear that lingered? This is not just for us, Agnes said, her voice unwavering. This is a call to share our light with the world, a mission to guide those still wandering in darkness. The villagers stood resolute, hearts brightened, as they felt the strength of their shared journey filling them with purpose. They took turns speaking their dreams, building a community overflowing with love, light, and endless possibilities, facing every challenge with unshakable faith. As the radiant path ahead glimmered, Agnes understood in her spirit that their journey transcended their village. This light's purpose stretched across distant lands, evaporating fears, igniting hope, forever marking the way for others to find the miraculous too. And just before stepping into the unknown, Agnes stopped, holding tightly to the hands around her, her heart brimming with hope. Let us take this step together, not as individuals, but as a united force, armed with stories and light to uplift others, testifying to the miracles still to come. Every soul gripped their breath, Every heartbeat synced in a song of expectancy. There was no fear now, only faith as they stepped forward, illuminating the darkness beyond their shores, and revealing the path set before them. The journey of their lives, their faith had only just begun. Agnes smiled, knowing that this was the beginning of something far greater than they could fathom. With divine grace leading the way, they embarked on a pilgrimage not just for themselves, but for every soul yearning to find their light, just as they had done. The unfolding miracle awaited now, dear brothers and sisters. This is the time to act. You need to subscribe now to our channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories that will nourish your soul. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let the light shine even brighter. Comment below with your reactions and testimonies about this ending, for your words are a testament to faith. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who must see this manifestation. Don't wait even one more second. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting our mission.